Okay, we're heading to a job, and as you can see over there in the field, somebody's barn got toasted over here. Tornado touched down and completely wiped things out. That is crazy. Holy crap. Jesus Christ. Wow.
This video is brought to you in part by TruTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support.
Got a little bit of water. Wow. Look at that.
1/2 mile. Turn left on Road 24.
That's crazy. Totaled knocked that tombstone off its base even. We're going to do change a compressor on a split beer cooler, and it usually ain't this desolate, but they wouldn't let me go through the town that I wanted to go through. Yeah, there was a tornado that went through this area. I lost power. I still don't have power. My battery backup got everything taken care of. Like I said, we're heading to a VFW, take care of a cooler thing. It's a compressor, I found it bad. So we're replacing a compressor on a cooler, and it's kind of a unique situation because it's a true cooler. The condenser's been moved downstairs. So we're gonna look at that and change it out. So we've got to just basically swap out a compressor, filter dryer, and a sight glass. Pretty easy job as long as everything goes well. I already see we made one mistake, so we're gonna need to get in here and get a little piece of copper. We have 1/4-inch lines, and I got a dryer for 3/8. So what we're gonna do, flare it and get it ready, and we'll just sleeve that 1/4-inch line. One thing I've noticed with some of these batteries, they've got an issue with the tabs breaking. So yeah, I broke the tab right there. This is brain dead, but that's just so simple. It is so brain dead. Always sounds like it's about ready to die by the time it gets done though. So we're good to go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in the middle, sweat 1/4 inch into both sides, and we'll put that flare dryer on there. That'll make it easy to change it in the future and not have to mess with a whole lot. The batteries seem to hold charge really good. And just like all the tools that you see on the channel, most everything here came from TruTech Tools. And you can save money if you use Survival as your discount code at checkout. You'll help support the channel, and you'll help support those who support me, which is TruTech Tools. They're one of my main sponsors that's helped out, and I'll let you show them the love. Try not to make this a NASCAR deal where we have patches all over the place and constant splash screens of sponsored, sponsored, sponsored. But let's face it, you don't make crap off of the money that YouTube pays you. We've got to make a little something for our time, otherwise I'm making these videos. On average, they're 50 bucks to 75 bucks if you're lucky. And since I'm the tool whore of HVAC, got a field piece valve core tool here with the fancy little valve here and here, so it'll allow you to protect your vacuum gauge if you don't have a good one like the Blue Vac that doesn't really care about pressurization. That's always a great location. Good old VFWs. You know how many weddings I DJ'd in these places? So we've got a compressor here that's shorted to ground. You can see this suction line here. I thought that was a liquid because, you know, so used to 3/8, wasn't looking close. We've got this little bitty 1/4-inch line going to the filter dryer there. So these lines go up there and literally go to a remote that is on the first floor upstairs. I just replaced this compressor here back in July of last year. It's running, it's not flooding, and it's still working, which is always a nice thing. What they've done is they literally have wired this up so that you can just plug it into there and unplug it. One side does the north cooler, one does the south cooler. I taped it off so that nobody would plug it in. I'm gonna remove that suction dryer. I'm more of a liquid dryer guy. Most crap's gonna be caught in the liquid. I think you remove more from the liquid than you do the suction. More times than not, I never see anything in that stupid suction dryer. All right, so we're bringing everything in, as you can see. It's a lot of things to carry down here. So We got Mr. 45, and I've got the newer 8CFM dual stage VP87 field piece vacuum pump, which is, I already had one just like it, but this is the newer version, which I know everybody's had this stuff, but hey, they gave it to me to try out. I want to try it out on the channel, and you guys can see if you think it's good. Everything I've heard is good, so we'll find out. Just a couple more trips. And the compressor. So no matter what I do here, there's no quick way to do this. Not worth running bigger hoses or anything like that. So I've got this programmed to automatically shut off at 20 inches of vacuum, which makes it kind of nice. Like, you know, I've been really happy with the Infocon recovery machine, but this is a lot smaller and fits in my van a lot nicer. That's kind of one of the reasons why I was interested in it. And it's kind of neat, it's got the digital readout and all that on there. Just go ahead and hit start. Okay, we're -8, supposed to go to -10. You can go to -20, but I got it set for -10, because generally it'll come back up. And after it hits it, I think it has to hold there for a few seconds. Sweet, all done. We're holding pretty good there. We'll go into purge. So we go to purge, that'll empty the machine out. Not bad, that's all the more gunk that was in there. And we know how much was in there, so we'll know where to start at. We could always leave this here for later if we want. So you should be able to yank those out. You could cut them off, which is the way you should do it, but I'm not doing that. I need every inch that I can get.
That's what she said.
Also, when I did the Embro torch review thing, or showed it in that one video, I was wondering, can these hoses interchange so you can use this nozzle or handle on it? And the answer is yes. But does it work? The answer is no. The pressures are so different that I could not get it to sustain a full-size flame that it should have, which was kind of interesting. Okay, got that one. Like I've always said, I like to pull away from it before I pull it out of there. Make sure it's there we go, boom. Then you don't have quite the flare up there. And there's a problem with this freaking, I've cleaned it multiple times for whatever reason, it just does not completely shut off. So I gotta blow it out or it ends up popping. And I don't really like that, because that goes back into your protector. That's always nice when they bend the feet. It'd be great if they'd learn how to fucking ship stuff without breaking it. Where's this garbage made at? Brazil. Gee, I wonder why. Ship it all the way from Brazil to here and it's all beat to hell. Go figure. Good. With the import taxes and crap, maybe they'll bring that back, since they shipped all of our jobs out back in the 90s. Prices went up anyway, so whatever. Put that in there like that. See if we can bend this thing up. Like that. We'll get this sweat in before we get her in place, and then we'll cap it. We'll do nitrogen on the other ones, but I'm not doing it on this little one here. Okay, we've got that probe right there, so you can get the suction right on there. And this should fit right back to there. That should fit right back to there. lines. You got 3/8. Okay, I went in there and bent a 90 on that fitting that I made up earlier. Before we get too far into that, I want to go ahead and put a little nylog on the back side of our flare. That way the head doesn't eat into the copper. There we go, it's the most important spot is on that back side. We should be able to come right in there like that. That should work out pretty good. That'll work out just fan-flippin-tastic there. Last person used one of these universal clamp adjusters here. Probably work again for another 20 years. Keeps it from rattling good enough. Oh, just here's a, you guys want to see a trick? So you get in there with your pliers and you twist it like that up tight, and you won't have no sharp edges versus cutting it off with a flush cut. By twisting it, it's something we learned long ago, back in high school. That way when we purge through the liquid line, it'll just come right back and it'll be all good to braze it all in, and the end of the world won't happen because we didn't use nitrogen or anything. Yeah, that's a pretty good purge. We'll take this down to just a light braze setting only. We'll get those two sealed up, and then we can purge back through here. And that's in there pretty deep, so that's not going to even remotely get gummed up. Get that center. Now we can do a little more of a purge at a higher rate, get everything out of that evaporator. Oh yeah, you can smell it coming through. They got a TXV up there on top. We'll show you everything that's going on when we get done here. Notice not really any green there. Gotta get that center pipe hot so it pulls into the inside. There we go. Once it starts to melt, it conducts all the way in there. And that'll be it for the brazing. A little bitty ring there. Don't have to be, just kind of doing it for looks. You want all that brace joint to be on the inside, sealing it up. The ring on the outside is just a beauty ring. That's it. If you're putting it all on the outside, you're not really getting good penetration, and you're gonna have some issues. God dang it. You would think for as many probably torch pieces I've sold for this company, UniWeld, they'd send me a freaking thing for my torch. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to pull vacuum. Yep. I like using my little cuff there. This is going to be the first time I use this. See how it goes. Both valves are open here. Obviously, we got a valve port here, and then that's the model number of it. It's good. Don't need to pull the valve cord. It does have a magnet on it, which is pretty cool. It's got like a plastic coating on it, so you don't like get all the shavings and stuff as likely. Yeah, I like this better than trying to go through the suction there on that valve there with the freaking other crap on it. It's just, to me, I think it's going to be a lot easier. The only thing I was wondering is how many problems I'll have with getting this to fit in tight spots, but for right now, it looks like it might fit in there just fine for this one. I'm sure you're going to have times where you're going to need to use your other one, your smaller ones. They have one that doesn't have a knob on both sides to isolate it. I got this just because it allows me the flexibility of valving it off if I need to dump it in through the suction. Or the liquid, I guess, depends on which one I'm on. Now I was thinking of buttoning my micron gauge up here on the liquid. That way we can see how it does on the other. I mean, I got 2 sets of hoses, but them things are notorious for leaking like crazy. We'll see how it pulls down. If it doesn't pull down very good, then we'll just go ahead and do it all off the suction, which there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, as long as you got a good vacuum on it, and I didn't have moisture to begin with, all you're doing half the time is pulling out refrigerant. There's got to be a moderate common sense on some of this. I know we get a little carried away sometimes. I guess it's probably because so many people does things half-assed that you just got to be like that. So the blinky mode lets you know that it's got the gas ballast on. You just usually want to use that until you get to the, I think it's 1500. 2000 range. You can see the green there on the sight glass is gone from yellow to green already, which is kind of nice. But yeah, we're not even pulling down at all yet on that old micron gauge. Like I said, unless that stem's leaking like a banshee, we might just reposition that over here to the actual valve core tool and see how that does. Okay, we went ahead and pulled it off. I backseated that. Probably is going to do a little better there. And we're going to valve this off when I get done to see if it holds the vacuum. We're not just kind of looking to see what did my vacuum pump hold. So it's not like we're totally illiterate here. One thing they offer, as you can see here, is the ability to put a garden hose on the end of that. That cap comes off. That way, if you were in a place where they had like computers all over or something, you know, that you can put that hose on there and vent it away to somewhere else. Okay, we were having some problems pulling down, and I ended up finally pressurizing. I had a little bit of a leak on that top 1/4-inch line, so it's dropped down to 420 now. Obviously, we valve it off and isolate it. It's going to jump right up, which is why you always valve it off to see where things are going. If they're going way up real fast, you might have a leak, or it could just be moisture. So like I said, it's been pulling for a while and it just wasn't making progress, and that's the problem. If you don't see it start to drop right away and start to stay there, then you probably have a leak somewhere, especially if you just did some work. Yep, believe it or not, I have mistakes every now and again. We're going to make sure this one's tight, and it's not. Can't count on factory to do anything right. You gotta make sure you got people that don't even know what they're working on building this stuff. So we're down at 290-ish. Isolate and see if it's holding any better than what it was. And it's jumping way up real fast. It's slowing down though, you can see it right there. That's why it's important to valve it off. Just because you get down to 200 or whatever don't mean jack squat. It just means that, you know, you've got it at the gauge. I needed to figure out which one was what as far as where I hooked this wire at. And what I did here was I looked at my diagram, and you can see it's start and run. So start is going to be your momentary switch. Common is going to be one leg of power. Your run is going to be, in this case, 120 volts. It's going to be a neutral. So we're tying on to that one. You can see we got 2 plugs there. So that's going to be your run. So run and common are your main power windings. Your start's momentary with this type of system. We've got the overload here. Got to go back into this thing, and then the wiring kind of goes off to the side. Okay, so you can see what we got there. Should anyhow. They're gonna make it a little easier to see. Okay, so we'll get that comment on there on the top. There we go, and then we probably can close that gas ballast. That poor thing has been running forever, which makes it smoke more, and it'll pull a better vacuum now too. There we go. Ouch! What the hell is that? And then there we go. Okay, we're at 224 right there. Valve off, see what happens. Not near as bad as what it was, that's for certain. There's only 2.5 microns a second at 500. I valved off at like 300 area. Now I've got everything insulated here up to here. This, I don't know where this came from, but it was on my truck. It's garbage. This ain't Armaflex brand. Gonna valve off one last time here. Slowly close my ball. See what she does. Come on, there we're under, just about under 2 microns at 300. So by the time we hit 5, we're gonna be close enough. I say go ahead and valve off the gauge. I'm not gonna spend all day here. I've been keeping 3/8 plug in there to keep the gunk out of it. That way you can just kind of let them fall where you want and not have to worry about it too much. That there, the stainless steel turns inside the brass. I'm hoping that stainless steel goes into the hose and it's not a big deal. I haven't noticed a performance issue yet, but I'm sure it's coming. They are from 2019, and I think they've done a really good job so far, and they've been dedicated to that type of use only as far as vacuum. We'll hook up this liquid line and open it here in a little bit. You can see we're right at 700 microns. I'm okay with that. That's some books will even tell you as long as it stays under 1,000, believe it or not. That's also with it isolated here, so if we want to open it up, it's actually lower than that. Look at that. We are going down, and we'll go ahead and, we got the micron gauge completely closed. We'll go ahead and dump a little bit in there. That's going to get the vacuum off of the system. Discharge now, which we've got to get our wrench. We got 30 pounds of pressure on the high side, so that means it went through. Good deal. We can go ahead and unhook our gauge, get that off of there. Go ahead and just continue to dump in about 40 ounces. That'll put us back to about where we were at before. And then we'll see where our sight glass is at. First time playing with this, which I lost the original valve core. It kind of holds under pretty good. Not going off, that's cool. You can watch her go down. There it is, down it goes. Cool. It's got a nice grip to it. You can really grip it in there pretty good on the handle there. Mix it with the vapor a little bit better. Bleed. There you go. And let's go ahead and plug it in and see if it runs. Here goes everything. The fans are running. I already went up there and checked that. There we go. See what the discharge temperature comes on at here. Oh, just kicked on at about 90, 85, 87 degrees equivalent. Sight glass is doing now. This thing is totally warm, so we're not going to jump the gun just yet. We're going to take our time. We'll just let it run for a little bit here, and we're just about there. Just went solid. I'm going to take her up to 66 ounces just like the other one is, and I think we're going to be fine there. That'll give us about 10 extra ounces. Taking a better look at it here, we've got our clamp before the receiver. We've moved our clamp back here to the back so that we can actually sense it in the insulation area more or less. That's a little more accurate than out here where it's hot and cold and possible falsification. You would think it actually would read warmer, but it wasn't. And like I said, the cooler's not that warm yet, or that cold yet. And we are running a 12-degree subcooling and a 10-degree superheat. So obviously we got to watch that for a little bit. Let's go upstairs and see if it's getting cold. See, they just got a TXV right there. Pretty interesting, huh? Not something you usually see out of these type of coolers. Got a 7-degree superheat, and looking pretty good. It was wrote 4 pounds here. I divided 16 into 66. It comes to 4.12, I think. Everything's looking pretty good so far. Sight glass is staying solid up there, which is good. And my green sight glass is a wonderful sight to see. And this other one that I started, it's still running. So I haven't had any compressor failures after that. This thing here, I think I converted to 407C from R22. We replaced the evaporator December 13th of 23, and it's been running good since then too. It's amazing how long things run when you set your superheats correctly for your TXV, and then your compressor don't get killed. Imagine that. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. I got the compressor changed. Superheat looks good. Everything's dropping in temperature, and condenser coil's clean. Sight glass is full. Everything looks good. Everything's insulated. All the trash is picked up, and everything's good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.